Welcome back, viewers, to the latest researches and news. Today we're covering two important developments out of Tigray. First, a significant meeting held in Indabaguna city, where an old resistance structure from the Derg era has reportedly been revived. And second, we're going to carefully break down the circulating claims about military vehicles and Eritrean support to Tigray Defense Force, separating what's actually been reported by credible sources from what's still just unverified social media chatter. Let's go through everything in full detail. Viewers, a meeting was held in Indabaguna city. Tigray, the city's mayor, Lijalem Abraha, addressed those present. He said that the people of Tigray need to strengthen what he described as their multi-dimensional power against Abiy Ahmed. He referred to Abiy as a genocidal dictator who is trying to eliminate the people of Tigray. Language like genocidal dictator is extremely strong political rhetoric, and coming from a sitting city mayor in an official public meeting, rather than from an anonymous online account, it carries real institutional weight. This kind of framing is typically used to rally a population around an existential narrative, presenting the conflict not as a political dispute, but as a matter of survival, which tends to be far more effective at mobilizing large numbers of people quickly. At this meeting, an old organizational structure known as Karabit was reactivated. Karabit was previously an important support structure used during the 17-year armed struggle against the Derg regime. It's now being strengthened again so that people stay consistently ready, ensure their own security, and guard against what's being described as both internal and external enemies. This is a genuinely significant historical detail. The Derg was Ethiopia's military government that ruled from the mid-1970s until 1991, and the struggle against it shaped much of the current Tigrayan political and military leadership, including figures within the Tigray People's Liberation Front itself. Reviving a structure that was originally built for a 17-year guerrilla-style resistance suggests this isn't being framed as preparation for a short, limited conflict historically. Karabit was designed to sustain a population and its fighters through a long, drawn-out struggle, which tells us something about the kind of mindset being cultivated here. The meeting also included a ceremony held in memory of Meles Zenawi. Meles Zenawi led the original Tigray People's Liberation Front-dominated government for many years and remains a deeply significant historical and symbolic figure for Tigrayan political identity. Including a memorial ceremony for him within this same meeting reinforces the historical and generational continuity being drawn here, connecting today's mobilization directly back to the movement's founding struggle and its most prominent past leader. Taken together, this meeting is essentially a call for popular mobilization and organizational readiness at the local level. It's not a military operation or a battlefield report. It's political and social groundwork aimed at preparing ordinary communities, not just formal armed units, for a sustained period of tension or conflict. This fits closely with everything we've already told you about the Tigray People's Liberation Front's decisive phase statement and its call for youth recruitment. This Indabaguna meeting appears to be the local grassroots version of that same broader mobilization effort. Now, let's move to the claim about military vehicles. On social media, particularly among pro-Tigray accounts, a claim is circulating that the Tigray army has already received support of more than 150 military vehicles from countries supporting the Tsmido alliance. It's important to be very clear here. This specific claim remains unverified. No independent international source, major news agency, or confirmed official statement has verified this exact number. At this stage, this is only a social media level claim, and it should not be treated as a confirmed fact. We're telling you about it because it's circulating widely, not because we can confirm it's accurate. Reported about Eritrean support separate from that unverified claim, here's what has actually been reported by sources. Reportedly, Eritrean supplied tanks and heavy artillery were moving toward the rear front. That report mentioned roughly 7 tanks, along with some Zu-23 anti-aircraft guns and long-range weapons. Even this report hasn't been fully independently verified, though it is circulating from a named source rather than an anonymous account. Separately, the Sufan Center, in a report dated August 21st, said that tanks and heavy weaponry had been deployed into Tigray through the Tsmido alliance. Both of these reports describe limited numbers of heavy equipment, roughly 7 tanks, and some accompanying weapons, not anything close to the scale suggested by the 150 vehicle claim we mentioned earlier. This is an important distinction. There is a real difference between a specific named source report describing a small number of tanks and a much larger unverified social media claim about mass vehicle transfers. We want to make sure you can tell the two apart. So what is Tsmido actually providing? Tsmido is a loose alliance that includes the Tigray People's Liberation Front, Eritrea, and allegedly other anti-Abiy groups. The alliance's goal is to build pressure against the Abiy government and enable possible coordination between these different actors. According to reports, the support being provided includes political and diplomatic backing, reports of limited military hardware movement, specifically tanks and heavy weapons, an attempt to provide strategic depth, aimed at keeping direct confrontation away from Eritrea's own border. However, solid, independent confirmation of full, open military support or large-scale equipment transfers under the Tsmido alliance remains limited at this stage. This gives us a clearer, more accurate picture than the unverified 150 vehicle claims. Tsmido currently appears to function primarily as a political and diplomatic coordination structure, with reported but limited and not fully confirmed military support layered on top of it, rather than a fully open, large-scale military supply arrangement. To bring this together, the Indabaguna meeting points toward local-level readiness and organizational strengthening, built on a historically significant structure with deep roots in Tigray's earlier struggle against the Diag. The claim of 150 military vehicles remains an unverified social media claim at this stage. There are reports of limited heavy weapons movement from Eritrea, but no confirmed evidence of a large-scale transfer. And Tsmido, for now, still appears to be operating mainly in a political and limited military coordination phase, rather than an open, large-scale support arrangement. The situation remains fluid, and claims continue to come from both sides, some backed by named sources, others circulating without any real verification. As always, we'll keep separating confirmed developments from unverified claims and bring you updates as soon as anything solid emerges. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next update.